What's the wildest thing you've done while a patient in the hospital? It started with what I thought was just a really bad flu. I'm talking sweats, chills, feeling like I got hit by a truck. But when my temperature spiked to 104 and I couldn't stop shaking, my roommate Jake dragged my stubborn ass to the ER. Sepsis, blood infection. The doctors were throwing around words like critical and touch and go, while they hooked me up to more 4 lines than I could count. The cocktail of antibiotics, painkillers, and whatever else they were pumping into me turned my brain into soup pretty quick. The first few days are mostly a blur of beeping machines and worried faces. My parents flew in from Phoenix, looking like they'd aged 5 years in 5 hours. My sister Emma kept trying to crack jokes, but I could see the fear in her eyes every time the monitors started going crazy. But then she showed up, around day 4, when the fever was at its worst and I was drifting in and out of consciousness. This nurse appeared during the night shift. She had the most incredible silver hair I'd ever seen. Not gray, not white, but this shimmering silver that caught the light from the hallway. She looked maybe 50, with these impossibly kind blue eyes, and this calming presence that made the whole room feel peaceful. She'd come by every few hours, checking my vitals, adjusting my 4, but mostly just talking to me. Her name was Margaret, and she had this soft voice that made everything seem like it was going to be okay. She told me about her garden, how she grew these amazing roses that bloomed even in winter. She talked about her 3 kids, who were all grown up now, scattered across the country, but called every Sunday, without fail. The weird thing was, she only came during the really bad hours, between 2 and 5 a.m. when the pain was worst and I couldn't sleep. She'd sit in that uncomfortable hospital chair and just chat, like we were old friends catching up over coffee. Sometimes she'd bring me iced chips when my mouth was too dry to talk, or adjust my pillows when I was too weak to do it myself. One night, when I was feeling particularly sorry for myself, she told me about this patient she'd had years ago, a young guy about my age who'd come in with the same thing. He was convinced he wasn't going to make it, she said, smoothing out my blanket, kept telling everyone goodbye, writing letters to people. But you know what? He walked out of here 3 weeks later and went on to become a paramedic. Said the experience taught him he wanted to help people the way we helped him. I asked her if she'd been a nurse long enough. She smiled. Long enough to know that the body heals faster when the spirit is calm. By day 6, my fever finally broke. The doctors were amazed at how quickly I was recovering. My white blood cell count was dropping, the infection markers were improving, and I was actually starting to feel human again. That morning, I asked the day nurse Sarah about Margaret. I wanted to thank her properly, maybe get her some flowers or something. Sarah looked confused. Margaret? There's no Margaret on our night staff. We've only got Tom, Lisa, and Jennifer working nights this week. I described her, the silver hair, the blue eyes, the stories about her garden. Sarah shook her head. Hun, I've worked here for 8 years. There's never been anyone by that description on our floor. My parents were there when I explained what had been happening. Mom got this look on her face, the same one she used to get when I was little, and swore I saw monsters in my closet. Emma just stared at me for a long minute before saying, "Dude, you were seriously messed up on drugs." Like seriously. But here's the thing that still gets me. I can remember every conversation, every detail about her face, the way she always knew exactly what to say. The hallucinations from the medication were chaotic, scary stuff. This was different. This felt real in a way that nothing else during that week did. I'm not religious, never have been, but sometimes, when I'm having a really rough day, I think about Margaret and her winter roses, and I wonder,